You know, it's something I've been realizing. It's coming to more and more clarity, and I'm having more and more realization. That is that it's really not about me. As I look at the world, as I look at family, as I look at relationships, as I look at politics, as I look at weather, I realize there are spiritual things going on that have nothing to do with me in many cases. I'm affected by it. I'm sometimes a part of it or a party to it, or I'm a part of the process, if you allow me to say. But I think people don't recognize it's really, really, really not about us. Again, we are affected by it. I may feel it. I may go through it, but it's really not about us. It's some of the negative things that happen in our relationships, in our families, in our businesses, in our ministries, in our industry, in the country, in our community. It's really about the fact that there are spiritual principalities in high places who are endeavoring to do things that we have limited to no full realization of. So when you think about it, you respond to it. When you have an opinion about it, when you move into it, whatever that is, you recognize, man, that ain't even about you. That was a setup. That was a trap. That was a pothole. It's like the fact that your tire, you woke up this in the morning and your tire was flat. Happened to me a few weeks ago. Woke up in the morning, my tire was flat. What I immediately thought about was, when did the tire go flat? Sometime in the last 24, maybe 48 hours, I ran over something that caused the tire to go flat. It didn't go flat immediately. So that means it happened over time. That means it was a process. That means it was something that I didn't see, and now the tire is flat. Just like in our relationships, in our lives, stuff happens, and oftentimes you don't know when the actual broke or breach happened until you see the effects of it. So when you respond to things in your community, in your relationship, when you respond to things politically, when you respond to things parentally, when you respond to things in your marriage, recognize it is another party, a higher power that's not higher than you, but there's somebody else that's in the mix. Be careful, be vigilant, be on guard. And ask yourself, what's really going on? What's really going on here in this moment, in these circumstances, in this situation? That's what we're going to talk about today. Not necessarily about relationships, but about some stuff in the industry, in the business, in the ministry. We'll talk about it today. This is the Akintunde Show, aka the Grown Man Podcast. Hey, family, call somebody, holler at somebody, tweet somebody, text somebody, email somebody, communicate with somebody, and let them know that the Akintunde Show is on Freethinkers Radio Network. Ak Show. I always wanted to have a group that all they did was whistle. You know what I'm saying? Like, like you go places and it's like, man, like Take Six, they just whistle, but they anoint it with their whistling, like, and people just being there like, oh my God, they whistling takes me to a whole other place. They like, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Is the Lord in this place? Okay. All right, I don't know where that came from. Ak Show, hey family, Grown Man Podcast. Happy Thursday to y'all, everybody out there. Listen, please do me a favor. Share this video, please. Click like, and then tell me where you're watching from, and then share it. Tell me where you're engaging with us from, and then share it. Tell me I'm in Cleveland and I'm at work. Tell me I'm in Houston and I'm at the house. Tell me I'm in Fayetteville, Arkansas and I'm sitting in line at my kid's school. Tell me I'm in Atlanta, Georgia and I'm on my lunch break. Tell me I'm in New York City and I'm on the subway. Yeah, let me know where you're at. Hey family, I'm at Freethinkers Radio Network in the Freethinkers studio right here in Columbia, South Carolina, the fine capital of this awesome state that I live in. That I now call my home, South Carolina. And I'm glad to be here. I am glad that you guys have tuned in today because there's a lot of stuff that we have to talk about and we want to deal with. And I think it's going to be good. I think it'll be fun. I think it's going to be engaging. And I appreciate I look at my hand because I don't know if I need some lotion or not. I'm ashy a lot of times. I'm sorry, I'm just being real with y'all. I'm ashy on a consistent basis. Shout out to all my ashy brothers. All of you, we know who we are. We're really struggling right now because it's supposed to be hot. If it's a little bit hotter, you got less ash. And I said ash, A-S-H. But it's still like we fighting cold weather. It's back cold again. I don't know what that's about. Because what's really going on? Yeah, but no. But what's really going on with ash is you have to really grease yourself. You have to really use lotion. You have to use Vaseline. So shout out to all my ashy brothers. And I'm proud to be an ashy brother. Right now, my hands are relatively non-ashy. My arms there you go. They got a little bit of ash right there. My elbows are a little bit ashy. My arms a little bit ashy, but my legs ashy. Right now, I can write my name on my leg right now. I can put sometimes when I'm like just full transparency, somebody might call me and I'm someplace where I can't get up, wink, wink. And when I take their phone number down, I write it right on my leg, 467 8256, and then later on when I go in the other room, I if I got shorts on, I roll my shorts up and I get the phone number off my leg, and it's right there, and it lasts. Just to make sure you don't wash before you get to write that phone number down, because you would lose that phone number. What am I talking about? That is very random. That's a lot of random dialogue that has nothing to do with today's topic. But I just want to share that with my ashy brothers. Share the video, please. Post the video, share it, and in a little bit I'm gonna see who's watching again. Hey, I want to share some information with y'all, and I want to say thank you first. Thank you to my man, my brother, the bow tie of comedy, Mr. Mike Goodwin, for sitting in for me on last week. As he said, if you watch the video from last week, he literally I called him last week early in the morning about 8, something like that, and to ask him to sit in for me on yesterday, on last week, and he did so. And so he did it even though it was last minute. I think he probably if I know Mike, he probably was dropping off Gabby and Lil Mike, and he did it anyway. And he did it, and I called him because my grandmother had passed on last Thursday morning. And when I found out, it threw me. Even though she had been sick, and even though we knew that there was a good chance that she could transition, it caught me off guard. And I don't know. That's probably a whole other conversation, and probably a whole little bit of therapy to deal with all those things. But in any way, Mike came in for me at the last minute in my stay, and I really appreciate that and held the show down. So thank you, shout out to my homie Mike Goodwin, aka the Bowtie Comedy, my dude, for coming in at the last minute and really holding it down for his brother. I appreciate that. And shout out to everybody. I got some messages on Facebook. I didn't really do a post on Facebook about the fact that my grandmother's passed. I will come this weekend because the services are this weekend, so I will post it then. But I'm kind of like, I don't know, like I'm learning myself even more as I get older emotionally, and when I go through my emotional process, I'm much more inward about it. As is, I think, a lot of men, but and some men are more outward about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not gauging my manhood or nothing about the way I process my emotions. I'm just saying the way I do. I process them rather quietly. I don't necessarily need a lot of, hey, people saying a whole lot, because I'm still processing it. I'm still going through it. So that's where I was on last week, and to some degree I'm still there, but I'm good. I'm in a good place. So I'm back with y'all, and ashy, and enjoying myself. I got a friend of mine who's not on the show, but he's on hold. My man Connell Johnson, aka CJ, he just called, and I figure I'll call him. I'll let him wait until we go to break, and I'll talk to him. Hold on, CJ. See, that's, you know how unprofessional it is to take a phone call while you're doing any type of broadcast in Facebook Live, YouTube, all the places we are. Okay, all right, we're running out of time. We got to get to a very important topic today. The topic is today, before I do anything, before I talk about what I'm gonna share with y'all briefly, I need y'all to please share the video. The topic today is what's going on, what's really going on. What I'm talking about is in Christian rap, gospel rap, or holy hip hop, whatever you may call it. We're kind of doing 2 weeks of talking about that topic. This week, I'm talking with my good friends who are also the curators, owners, proprietors, and managers, and just overall HNICs. David Pendergrass and Darren Murphy will be my guests in just a few short minutes or seconds. And we'll be talking about this topic, about what's really going on in Christian rap, gospel rap, holy hip hop, whatever you call it. And the conversation, full transparency, came up last week very organically and very unplanned, because my guest for this week was supposed to be Ernest Pugh. So while we were waiting for Ernest Pugh to come in for us to do the interview, then we got to talking about something, and we was like, hey, we need to talk about this on air. And then we just put it together and we start talking about it. So that's coming up in just a little bit. What's really going on? Like in Christian rap, gospel rap, and even gospel music, and there's a transition happening. For some people, it's a little bit like, what's up? And then it's like, some people don't want to be called Christian artists no more, gospel artists. And it's like, okay, what's all that about? Then you have people who are thought not to be gospel artists are putting out gospel records. You're like, oh, okay, so, which is fine. I don't have a problem. I'll talk about that. We'll talk about that next week. Next week, my guest is Big Red. Big recording artist, MC, minister, record producer, label owner, executive. Big Red will be my guest on next week. And he and I will be talking about it. But this week, today, right now, I'm going to talk about it with my friends, David Pendergrass and Darren Murphy. So share this video, come into the conversation, plug into the conversation, share this video on your page, and then go through your messenger. Go through Messenger and just share it with some people. Share it. Share it and share it and share it and share it, so that we can get the word out about this conversation. All right. I want to make an announcement, and then I want to tell you about some upcoming dates that I have. So the announcement is this: starting this Monday, the Laugh of the Day comedy segment will return to radio. We'll be rolling out over the coming weeks on multiple stations across the country. Our first station to pick us up, first station that we sign is Rejoice 96.9 in Greenville, Spartanburg, in the upstate of South Carolina. Shout out to Salem Radio and for picking up the show, picking up our segment. And I appreciate it, because the Laugh of the Day comedy segment is a daily comedy piece that you'll be able to laugh at on a consistent basis. And eventually, in the very near future, it'll be available on Facebook. It'll be available in your email. But right now, it is going to be on your radio stations all across the country, starting with, again, Rejoice 96.9, Greenville, Spartanburg's inspiration station. I appreciate them so much for picking up the segment and just letting people laugh every single day. It'd be myself hosting with other comedians coming in on a daily basis and dropping some comedy for your comedy pleasure. And it's just the first of many things that we have coming up, television wise, radio wise, tour wise. Speaking of tours, the Healthy Laughter Comedy Tour is kicking off in Spartanburg, South Carolina. That's coming up on April the 22nd. That's myself, Griff, from the Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell, and Miss Shirlene, Instagram and Facebook sensation, Miss Shirlene. The three of us will be at the Chapman Cultural Center in Spartanburg, South Carolina, downtown Spartanburg. That's coming up on Sunday, April the 22nd. Healthy Laughter is not just comedy. It really is health. It's not just information, but there's also impartation. What I mean by impartation is we are imparting information and giving you service, imparting services into the community. People will be able to come to the show and buy an extremely cheap comedy ticket. $15 for VIP, $10 for general admission. $10. Hold on, let me pause on that for a minute. $10, man, for general admission. Real talk. Okay? And mind you, my last comedy show by myself was $25 and think almost $30 for VIP. Okay? Now, so I'm telling you, that's a reasonable price. And then kids get in for $5. At $10, that is a kid's price. Okay? But because of the Lady of the Links Incorporated Spartanburg, South Carolina chapter, that's why the price is so cheap. Because of these ladies who felt the need to give back to the community, to show the community love and laughter by bringing this show to the city of Spartanburg. So that's come up on Sunday, April the 22nd. I want to shout out some of our other sponsors. Please forgive me because I don't have them all in front of us, but I will name some of them. I will shout out Denny's. Denny's is one of our sponsors. Marriott of Spartanburg is one of our other sponsors. BMW is one of our sponsors. Y4U organization is one of our sponsors. The Barksdale organization is one of our sponsors. The city of Spartanburg is another sponsor, and Monarch Foods Cafe and Foods is another sponsor. All of them collectively came together and covered the cost for this particular show, for the event, the advertisement, and all of that. And again, that is Healthy Laughter Comedy coming to Spartanburg Sunday, April the 22nd, 6 o'clock p.m. The screenings, you'll be able to get free health screenings. Get this now: blood pressure, heart, some other screens. I want to get into all those, but because I want to leave anything out or say something that we can't fully give. But free health screenings will start at 3 o'clock p.m. At 4 o'clock p.m., there will be a Healthy Talk panel discussion hosted by yours truly with healthcare professionals. We'll be asking questions, even questions for myself. I'm 46 years old now. I got to think about my health in a whole different light right now because I'm a grown man, and you got to take care of yourself. You got to make certain adjustments. I've been healthy all my life, and I want to stay healthy. So that said, Healthy Laughter Comedy Tour, April 22nd, Greenville, South Carolina. Spartanburg, South Carolina. Also, coming up this weekend, tomorrow, I'll be in Alexandria, Virginia at Agape Embassy Ministries. Shout out to Pastors, Doctors Mills at Agape. I love Dr. Mills and when I say doctor, I mean doctors, because it's an awesome husband and wife team who puts it down in ministry in Alexandria, Virginia. I'll be in Alexandria on tomorrow. On the April the 12th, I'll be in Columbia. No. I'm saying that wrong. I'll be the South Carolina Prison Ministries in South Carolina. I forgot the city. The city's not on here. Excuse me. That's April the 12th. April the 14th, I'll be in Minneapolis, Minnesota for a big show with my man Shed G. We'll be in Minneapolis. Can't wait. Tickets are on sale right now. If you are in Minneapolis, go get them. Let me tell you something. If you see a show and there's tickets being sold, get your tickets right now. I understand on some of these shows, tickets are moving extremely fast. Praise God. Okay. On April the 20th, I'll be in Columbia, South Carolina with my man Terrence Young. I'm hosting Terrence Young's birthday celebration. I'm hosting for my man, holding it down for my guy Terrence Young, my brother. If you know Terrence Young, you know we're gonna have a good time that night because Terrence puts it down. And Terrence has a Prince tribute album coming up. I can't wait for that. I'm excited about that. Because that's ironic because I'm gonna be in Minneapolis. And the next week, I'm gonna be hosting Terrence's joint. On the April 21st, I'll be in Rome, Georgia, the following day at Thankful Baptist Church in Rome, Georgia. They're having a special comedy show for the community there. You can get more information about that. Hit them up on their website. On April 22nd, Healthy Laughter in Spartanburg, South Carolina. There has been a date added to Savannah, Georgia. I'll give you more details about that when I find out. But this just happened like literally this week. A brand new date added to Savannah, Georgia. And then on April the 28th, I'm one of the headliners for the Sweet Potato Festival right here in Lower Richland. Yes. And it's all kind of folks that's going to be on that event. I'm going to tell you more about that on next week. I'm excited about the Sweet Potato Festival. I love playing festivals, particularly this year, is because I will have my band with me, because on that week I'll be releasing my single. I know some of y'all think I'm crazy. I might be, but my single's coming out. Please Stop Sleeping in Church. It's coming out. So that particular week, my band Spiritual Chocolate will be joining me. Spiritual Chocolate. Spiritual Chocolate. Spiritual Chocolate will be joining me at the Sweet Potato Festival in Lower Richland. So and that's a free event. How about that? Thank God for that. So thank y'all for everybody who puts that on. My shout out to my brother Mike Griffin. Who booked us for that event. All right, that's a lot of information I gave y'all, and I'm way over time. All right, so we're gonna get into this conversation right now. All right, hope you share this whole piece, and I'm gonna see if I got any comments on the line so far, and I'm gonna read some of those comments real quick. But again, share this post, let folks know that we're talking about it. That we're talking about a topic I think that really needs to be talked about. Carl T, what's up, Carl? He said, what's up, Carl? Your boy, the corporate Negro. If you read the comments in the line, he put that in it because that's why I used to call him for inside joke. But I used to call him at he worked with me consistently back then. Again, like, tag, and share this video. All right, so here's the topic today. What's really going on? What's really going on in Christian rap, gospel music, holy hip hop, whatever you call it? Got into a great conversation. I'm not going to do a whole lot of setting up of the conversation. I'm going to go to break, and when I come back, we're going to have this conversation. But again, I was joined by my two brothers, Darren Murphy and David Pendergrass. They are the proprietors. They are the organizers, curators of Freethinkers Radio Network. I wouldn't be on Freethinkers Radio right now if it wasn't for these cats right here. All right, they will be coming up in just a hot minute, and we're talking about this topic. What's really going on? I think you're going to enjoy it, and I would encourage you to let folks know. Hey, family, this is the Akintunde Show, aka the Grown Man Podcast, broadcasting right here on the Freethinkers Radio Network. Please stay right there. When I come back, we're gonna get into this talk, y'all. Ak Show. You're inside the Akintunde Show, aka the Grown Man Podcast. We'll be right back. The Akintunde Show is sponsored in part by Atomic Design. Set the stage for maximum effect for your next live event with Atomic Design. Whether live event production, set design, custom set construction, or modular rental scenery, Atomic Design is the company for you. Official set designer of my upcoming live comedy special, Akintunde Because I Said So. Learn more about the captivating capabilities of Atomic Design. Give them a call today at 717-626-4408 and tell them Akintunde told you to call. Atomic Design, atomicdesign.tv.
$26 logo designs. Need a logo like the ones here? Go to JaleelMakesLogos.com for yours today. JaleelMakesLogos.com. $26 logo designs. Need a logo like the ones here? Go to JaleelMakesLogos.com for yours today. JaleelMakesLogos.com.
Hey, what's up, family? The Akintunde Because I Said So Jokes and Music Tour has officially begun. Savannah, Georgia was lit. Moncks Corner was gas. Germany was spectacular. Hollywood, Florida was off the chain. The tour is rolling, and we just added some dates. So, for my full schedule, including speaking engagements, log on to my website.
The 2014 Dove Award Comedian of the Year.
It's the Akintunde Live Because I Said So Jokes and Music Tour coming to a city near you. And if it's not, do something about it. Give us a call at 1-800-280-0094. That's 1-800-280-0094. Or hit me on my website. That's akintunde.net. That's AKINTUNDE.net. Because I Said So Jokes and Music Tour coming to a city near you. I'm going to see y'all when I see y'all. Peace. All right, y'all. This is the Grown Man Podcast, aka the Akintunde Show, broadcasting right here on the Freethinkers Radio Network, either on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, any other live platforms I don't know about. I don't know, but you can find it. Trust me, you have no excuse not to find it. And also, please download the Freethinkers Radio app, get it on your phone so you can listen to it and take this conversation with you all the time. Boom! That's what I'm talking about. On cue, Darren Murphy. That's what I'm talking about. You know why he pulled it up right now? Because he is the owner, one of the owners of Freethinkers Radio Network. And that entrepreneurial spirit just popped that phone out so quick. Let me show you why. Let me show you how. That's how entrepreneurs do it. When you run a business, when you own a business, you somewhere and somebody talking about mechanic. Oh, dude, I'm a mechanic. I got my card right there. That's how people who own the business do. So yeah, again, Freethinkers Radio Network. These two guys right here, that's Darren Murphy, that's David Pendergrass. They are usually behind the camera. One usually focuses on the audio, one usually focuses on the video. But for this one auspicious occasion, they have come from behind the camera and the mic to get in front of the camera and in front of the mic. We got them on here today. Got a hot conversation for y'all. Please don't get offended. Please, all my Christian rappers, all my Christian DJs and producers, don't get offended by the question. The question is just a topic. It's a title. It's to be provocative. It's meant to be provocative. Is Christian rap dead? No, it's not dead. Let me dispel that rumor right now. Okay? So take me off the chopping block. Don't tweet me nasty. Don't Instagram. Don't troll me and say little stuff and make little mean little dirty little comments and dirty gifs and memes. Don't do that. It's a provocative title. Okay, so here's where the title came in. So earlier, we had another show planned today, but I believe God ordained we went somewhere else. And we got to have an off-mic conversation, an offline conversation, as we say in the entertainment industry or in the business industry. When you have a conversation at the table and everybody's there, you should look and say, that's an offline conversation. I mean, don't say that right now. So, but we were having this great offline conversation, and we decided let's take it online. And let's have a dialogue open. I think it needs to be had. All right, again, Darren Murphy, David Pendergrass. Is Christian rap dead? Okay, that came up in the midst of the conversation. David, I'm gonna let you hit that of why that came up. Why that sentence came up in our conversation.
Well, yeah, there was a conversation online the other day where there were some people, some fans, and some DJs were kind of conversing back and forth, and you know, they were saying, you know, is Christian hip hop dead? And the person was like, no, it's not dead as long as Jesus is in the forefront and, you know, souls getting saved or whatever. But, like, you know, basically, like I tell them, okay, well, maybe the art form isn't dead, but the industry seems to be pretty much dying.
Why do you say the industry? Why did you say the industry's dying?
How many people can eat in the industry? How big is the market? Can enough people eat? You see what I'm saying? That's you know, does it have a way of feeding? First of all, okay, it's two reasons. Number one, if I got $60 and I'm a new Christian hip hop fan, what you got for me? How much? You know, other than what 60 singles? You know what I'm saying? What do you have for me? That's number one. And number two, there's Lecrae, there's Bizzle, there's a few. Maybe 5 people are eating, Jones, but the rest of the industry are all rapping part-time. They all have full-time jobs doing something completely different, and then they're doing this on the side. Okay. So that makes it, you know what I'm saying? So how many people can actually eat? How many people where are your full-time participants? You know what I'm saying? When you especially if they're trying to compare it to secular rap, how can you do that? Those guys been full-time for 20 years.
But even but even with that, a lot of those guys, some of them are false eating and some of them really eating. Right. Some of them eating scraps. You know what I'm saying? You know,
some of them eating.
You know, yeah, but see, okay, I think it's 3 factors that lead to even the topic of the conversation. I think it's number one, I think the industry itself, music industry in general has shifted. Right. I mean, I felt it in the past couple of years as a person who was on a label and who had a couple of different distribution deals. I felt the shift in the industry. These companies, these major companies, corporations trying to figure it all out. And then you call and you realize you get a letter from your label that your label is shutting down. And now Universal is managing your library. So the last 5 years on your deal is now in Universal is managing. Right. I'm like, whoa, how'd that happen? What happened to E1's comedy division? E1's comedy division is no more. Okay, because the industry shifted. Yeah. Right. So now that gives me taking the last 2 years figuring out, reshifting, rebuilding everything, restructuring everything, how I'm gonna do the next projects, the one I just recorded. So I think the music industry is the same way. It's everybody's kind of finding their way. And I think unfortunately, rap and secular has figured out how to do that. Maybe somewhat quicker than what gospel has. Gospel already didn't have its footing the way it should have. But then, and so, and again, I know somebody probably say, well, you guys may not be qualified to have this conversation. There may be a level of that may be somewhat true. I don't think that we're not qualified to have a conversation. Maybe there's some other voices that should be in the conversation, but for right now, we're having this conversation. It is what it is. So, I think that's one part. The industry itself shifted. The other side of it, I think a big issue is that the church did not embrace gospel rap fully, Christian rap fully. Many people in the church shunned it and did what generally religion has done over the years. When something is new, I don't understand it. It's not for me. That's some young cats. That's that bumpity bump. I don't mess with that. Mm-hmm. That's what every generation, unfortunately, has done.
As it should have always been.
Right. They should have consumed it. It should have said, but here's the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Here's the whole thing. Mahalia Jackson, the mother of gospel music. Okay? Mahalia Jackson was too secular when she came out.
Oh yeah.
That's what they say. Mahalia, precious Lord, take
because opera was pop at the time.
And the sound, I'm like, what? But I'm listening with my, born in 1971 ear. Right. Came up in the 80s and 90s ear. Absolutely. But back then, that was too secular. Wow. Yeah. So my point is, so I think that's one side. Then I think that some people, not all, but some people in the Christian rap genre didn't want to be Christian rappers. So when you start saying, I don't want to be known as a Christian rapper, then everybody starts saying, I don't want to be Christian. I don't want to have the limitations of Christian and gospel rap. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what? There's two ways to look at that. Because I have this all the time about Christian comedy. It is, does Christian comedy or does being a Christian rapper or gospel rapper, does that limit you? Or why do you have to say that you're a Christian to be a Christian? Why don't you just go out there and capture more fish by not saying that you're a Christian? But guess what? From what you're saying, the topic and what we may be observing is with everybody saying, I don't want to be a Christian, the base, the foundation has dissipated. The base and the foundation is not as solid as it was.
Well, that's the thing. Because you touched on a couple points there. It's got to go back a little bit though. Because first of all, you cannot blame the church for not supporting Christian hip hop, because at the end of the day, you can't get mad at me for supporting something until you've shown me how it's useful. You did not show me how it was useful. You did not show me how it was helpful. You did not show me how it could flow into my normal services. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Or you know, so the pastors who tried, what did they do? They tried to have a little youth service or something so you can go out there and rap. Because we couldn't fit you when you didn't find any way to make your gift fit into our services.
I disagree with you.
Didn't find it.
No, I've seen a Canton Jones come in and do 3 songs like straight up. I can't help it. And the whole crowd is jumping. Right. And then he does another song that's kind of in the middle, and then before you know it, then now everybody's in a full worship experience. Yep. And I'm like, whoa, what just happened here? And everybody in the room is crying, and then this guy's Pastor Canton Jones is walking around telling people, come over here and lay hands on this young brother right here and pray for this brother right here. And they come and find out me and this brother, we dealt with the same issue. His daddy left him, just like my daddy left me, was giving me an opportunity to pray for him. That's a God experience. Now, it came from a concert.
Now, is that from the fact that Canton Jones is an ex praise and worship leader who happens to do rap and poppy music? I mean, he's not a Christian rapper.
He is a Christian rapper.
I think it's all about flow. I think you gotta know your flow and know what your lane is, because the thing about the body that a lot of people get confused is that we're different members. You know what I'm saying? Right. And a lot of people, they come into it thinking they have to be like the person next to them, right? Blend in versus how we're built to blend out. Right. And so I think a lot of times people don't have the confidence or, like you said, or study, perfect that thing to have that skill set, right, to flow in that anointing, and then with that, it's gonna flow. Right. And to your point, I think there's a time that comes when you really submit it to something, whether that's a cause, whether that's a system, whether that's a belief.
You submitted to it. In that process, if you stay with it, you go through all the ups and downs, the failures, the success, the rejections, whatever, you begin to perfect that thing. And I think some people didn't go through that perfection process. Then you had some people, and then there was a movement within the Christian rap. Now, again, I'm sure I'm gonna take some heat from this for saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. That start really believing, they didn't really believe in the structure of the church. So I remember, I never forget, I had a conversation with a Christian rapper who I will not name. Not a major, let me say that, because I don't know nobody think it's a major rapper. It wasn't a major rapper, but he was an up and coming Christian artist who was very, very, very talented. And he was saying, you know what, man, like all this stuff in churches, like, you know what I'm saying, like all this tithing, like I don't even believe in tithing. I don't even believe in that. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay. You say like in biblical days, son. In biblical days, they tithe with fruits and grain and oranges and stuff. And he was all past. We had like after the show, right? Where mind you, I had just paid him to open up for me. That's not something. But so I said, dude, the currency of the day
was fruits.
Right. You can't take a bag of oranges, SENG, and pay bills with that.
Yeah, but back then you could.
Back then you could. Right. So I said, so that was the currency of the day. So don't take that out of context. I said, is there abuse in the church or some things? Of course there is. Yeah. I said, but the system of tithing is still the same. I said, let's just say you don't agree with that. But guess what? You want to get paid, right? I said, you want me to pay you out of my money. Yeah. I said, the church that just booked us or booked me and I let you open up and paid you for it, how you think they paid you? Tithes and offerings. That's how they paid me, out of tithes and offerings. Yeah. They allocated a budget out of their annual tithes and offerings for a comedy show. So I think some people got off. And then I think that there was, if you're not submitted, like you got to be submitted to the process. So I think there's two sides of it. I think one, I disagree with you in this, David. I really believe that the church should have embraced and with leadership to say, hey man, I ain't trying to change your flow. I ain't trying to change your style, but understand this is a scriptural reference for what you're doing. This is the spiritual implications, long-term ramifications. This is the potential for what you're doing. Let's make sure that while we do this, it's not just for honorariums or paychecks. Let's just make it real clear, paychecks, not for tour dates. So and it's not just that you want to be a star, but if you give yourself to God, God can use you and make you and take you there and build you up to be a star. I just think that we missed a moment. You know, to like you said to Darren, your point. You said blend out. You know what I'm saying? How do we first of all, how far are we off, and how do we get there? Go ahead.
So we just go. So to blend out, I gotta go back again, bring it back to this. Here's the thing. I want everybody to think back to you before you were saved days. A movie called CB4. Yeah. They were the fat heads. The fat heads. We're fat. We're fat. We're spiritual. With the little daylight. Remember they were trying to be like PM Dawn. And then they had, we're gangsters. And finally they rested on we're gangsters. And it worked. And they went with that. Yeah. What were they doing when they were making all those changes? They were trying to find what fit their market. It's the same for every single industry, everything, everyone who goes out to start a business and being a rapper or a minister of any kind is business. Yeah, yes. Yeah. Even Jesus called Father's business, so it's still business. Yeah. Now, which means you have overhead. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got expenses. Yeah. And you have what's called return on investment. Right. So here's the thing. So you brought Christian rap out here, and I think it was tough on them because with the person who was telling you about their problem with the tithing system. Right. Okay, because the market at one point for Christian hip hop was the super intellectual heavy readers. Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? With my Luke 9 on me. Right. The Calvinist movement. It was the Calvinist movement. Yeah, yeah. So you had to be, you couldn't even be a Christian rapper unless you were well read. Yeah, yeah. Okay, then there was a time when because originally they came out, and when they really came out, they wanted to touch the urban community. They wanted to touch urban centers. right? But what ended up happening was Caucasian teenagers responded.
Yeah.
They sent out the call for urban Christians.
That's right.
But urban Christians were brought up in a culture where grandma teaches the 7-year-olds and wasn't from early on how to respond to quartet music. And when they get older, they will not depart from it.
Right.
And they'll come back. And when they're ready to bring their adult life back to the church, they're also going to bring their adult life back to dancing like you did when you were a child, which includes this blues music, Motown type of dancing.
Right.
It is what it is.
Right.
Okay. I mean, because in some ways it's that way. You know what I'm saying? In some ways it's other ways. I get it. But at the end of the day, that's the culture. When you look at it from the outside, that's the culture. That's the business model.
But to your point on that, why do you said that it became a situation where it was mostly a Caucasian,
because they're more religious tweeners. Christian hip hop has mostly served religious tweeners. Religious tweeners means I'm saved, but I don't go to church. I go to church, but I ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Christian, but I don't. You see what I'm saying? That's what it's always served. It's served as that middle ground, that safe space for people who don't want to be labeled as churchy.
But see, my thought is that a lot of those white churches that you might that were embracing more of the Christian rap, Christian hip hop.
Right.
My thought was that maybe they didn't understand it, but they knew I don't get it, but these people do. These youth get it, or these younger people get it.
I need something for my kids.
I need something, and so I don't have to get it. Like I've been to churches. Like I did a Quiet the Fire tour. I was talking about that earlier, and we would go places, and it would just be like 13,000 people in the room. 85% of them Caucasian. The majority of them youth. The youth pastors that came along with them were my age, or some of them were younger. Or some of them were older than me. Okay, and these guys like, hey man, I don't really get Flame, or I don't necessarily get Lecrae, but all I know is they do, and it's okay with me that they get it, and I don't have to get it to embrace it. But I think in the black church, if I may say, I think there was a time, and it's still there, where we shunned it and we said, "Oh, y'all, that ain't God."
It's anti-cultural, man.
Yeah, religion versus relationship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you have a relationship, you ain't gotta, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta ask no questions or ask somebody else.
Right.
But if you religious, you gotta, is this okay?
Right.
Can I look at this?
Right.
On one end, on the other end, you have to understand, like in the early inception of rap, Beastie Boys was right there. So Christian rock already had a gateway ready for Christian hip hop prepared. It wasn't the same way when Stevie Wonder was rapping on, scatting on doing stuff. It didn't make it into mainstream secular hip hop culture. That's number one. Number two. Think about the fact that when Lecrae was supposed to really hit was at the Passion Conference when he did a song with Chris Tomlin and did a song with the same people that made How He Loves Us.
Okay.
That was on the Passion CD. That was supposed to have been his world release. You've never seen a rapper on stage doing this thing. You've only seen Rage Against the Machine do that in the secular realm. But unfortunately, Lecrae was missing a little bit of the talent, of the versatility that he needed to make that next step. So he got to where he could get to, and that's pretty much it.
I don't think so. I don't think it was talent. I think maybe it was timing. I love Lecrae. I think Lecrae is dope. I think he's a lyricist. I like his flow. I think that the movement. There could be several reasons. Probably many of which I may not be told. I don't maybe not have enough information on the industry side of it. But I think I think Christian rap runs to the same issue that we run into. And I say that as me. I still consider myself to be a Christian comedian. Now, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, you shouldn't say that," or "You shouldn't limit yourself." I always say this right. I don't ever feel that being labeled in any way as a Christian comedian has ever limited me.
Oh no,
I don't think. And I think at the end of the day, funny is funny.
Right.
And I think that I look the same way with lyrics. If you're a cat, you really about your lyrics, and you really about your ministry, and you really about your business. At some point, everything gonna line up. And God's gonna say, and it's gonna line up. You're like, there it is.
Yeah.
But if it's all about, well, this is flowing, they ain't doing this right now. I don't want to be called this or this. Let me tell you, I'm like, bump that. It's like, see, because here's the whole thing. This is what I go back to. If you just want to talk about the business side of it, let's talk about the business side of it. The business side is this right here. You can say what you want to say about Donald Trump. I have a lot of opinions about President Trump, but it's 33% of America who agrees with him, and they're gonna stand behind him. And what President Trump do a lot of ignorant stuff, but one thing he wise about is he makes sure he feed his base some meat.
Right.
Every once in a while he'll do something like, he's like, let's go do something for the base. So he don't care about abortion. But let me put together an abortion rally. Yeah, he's for us. He don't care nothing about conservative business value. He's showing not conservative. He cheat on his wife and do all that things that completely flies against the conservative values that Republicans say that he stand for. But he just feeds his base. Right. Same thing with country music. Country music people, they'll be at New York, they'll be at the MTV Awards, they'll walk out there with that big old hat on and them tight jeans. Hey, we're Montgomery Gentry. And hey, we love country too. We love you guys too. Hey guys, we're here at the BET Awards. Right. They don't go in there and try to change their style and try to talk different. Right. They remain themselves. And I think that's what we gotta do as believers.
So how do you balance that out though if you're a Christian rapper? Okay. Because you think about it, your tool is an evangelical tool. Your effectiveness, how good are you with this? In ways, and I know it's, you know what I'm saying, maybe I'm wording this in a way, but honestly, your effectiveness is based on how well you attract the people who need to be evangelized to, which means the unsaved. So then because you know what I'm saying, because obviously you're not, okay, at what time? I don't remember a time when anyone declared that, hey, you know, we need to make some rap music for these church people. Other than parents, there's really nobody to, you know what I'm saying. At the end of the day, that wasn't the cry out of what to happen there. I don't get it.
To that point, I said something a few years ago, and I think I've seen it happen somewhat now. The only person I've seen do it is my man Big Red. I'm not saying it because I know Big Red. But I'm saying that he's one of the few people I've seen him doing it. And he went and got, I'm sure somebody else has done it. I haven't really seen it being done. It's usually the opposite way. He, as a rapper, went and got a mainstream gospel artist on his song. So he went and got, well, now you're talking about, he was on Alexis Spike's song.
And Fred.
Right, he went and got Fred Hammond. He got Fred Hammond to flow on his song, Running Back to You. And I was like, that's it. Because see, I remember when, we all remember. Darren, I think you old enough to remember this. Darren, I know David is quite a bit younger than me. Darren is way younger than me. But I think you remember this right here. There was a time when rap music that today has radio stations 24 hours dedicated to it. There was a time when rap was only played after 10 o'clock, right? After the Quiet Storm, or solely on weekends. And then it was sometimes only played in the mix when the Prince Ice played it. Other than that, it wasn't getting played. It could be a dope song. Oh, no, don't play it right now. You can't play it at 12 o'clock. Yeah, you can't play no rap at no 12 o'clock. I was in the room. I heard these conversations.
You know what?
There was a little dude. Definitely a little dude. But it's a guy named LL Cool J. LL Cool J is a bad rapper. He decides, I'm going to have Boys to Men to get on a song called Hey Lover.
Right.
And this is a traditional slow jam with Boys to Men, the hottest R&B group at the time. And LL Cool J said, I don't want y'all to sing the hook, sing on nothing else but the hook. Right. I'm gonna rap the whole thing. I'm gonna drop 16 bars. That changed everything. Hey Lover shifted the entire industry. The entire industry. Yeah. And when are we gonna do that?
But why is that though? Because that wasn't the original crowd for hip hop. The Hey Lover crowd was not the hip hop crowd.
Exactly.
And the Hey Lover crowd was the R&B crowd that did not have a gateway already opened up, like Beastie Boys had opened up rap crowd to inhale hip hop.
Right.
There was no place for R&B R&B and funk. Even the way funk was being made, Snoop tried to be the bridge, and he did a really good job. But as far as he still didn't open it up fully. He became the only one that could go through that door. But there was no culture-wise when those genres were set up. Rock had already been introducing how to inhale rap, and so Christian rock had already been given the blueprint on how to inhale Christian hip hop. When your church culture is based on blues, R&B, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Understand that even in the secular realm, there was no bridgeway made for you.
Yeah.
And when it took a person to make a song like "Hey Lover" to make people even understand this was possible, and it took Puff Daddy to come back with 112 and Biggie. It took, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
It took it to happen the same way with I think MC Lyte was trying to do some songs with some singers back in the same thing.
But gospel, here's my pushback on that. With gospel, there's been the diversification or the inclusion. Look what Kirk Franklin does. And been doing it consistently for years.
And
now Kirk Franklin is one artist.
Push back too.
There's always been pushback to what Kirk does, but he's been consistent with it. And then I'm trying to think about some other rappers who, you have your Toby Max, who has had, but again, of course, Toby Max on the other side of things. Yeah. But I think, to your point, I think you talk about that bridgeway, that doorway,
was there a plan already for them to inhale that?
See, and that's my point about the church, and what I should have added in there, gospel radio. Right. Gospel radio has not totally included and accepted and welcomed Christian gospel rap into the fold. Now, the beauty of that now is you have the one station, it's two stations I know. I'm sure it may be more. Don't get mad at me if I'm not mentioning your station. But the only two stations that I know that do 24 hours hip hop and R&B, the version Holy Hip Hop and R&B is Millennial FM here in Columbia, South Carolina. Again, I'm not just saying that because I know the station, I know the program and all that. And then the station out in Orlando.
And Freethinkers Radio.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We do that.
Freethinkers Radio.
We do that.
Yeah. You're right though.
You're right. But just even to that, it's very important that we don't forget how, and ideology is one thing, but in reality, timing is very important. The same way that Kanye will never sell college dropout numbers again. It just won't happen no matter how talented. Kanye West is very talented. He won't do college dropout numbers again. 50 Cent was never going to do Get Rich or Die Trying again because their style and the style that they had perfected had a time when it was the prevalent style. Jay-Z will never do any numbers again. Why? Because money, cash, that style, can I get a what? That hit right then and there at the exact time he was dropping that record. That was his year. Then the very next year, that style didn't sell the same. And the year after that style didn't sell the same. And he can't sell it anymore. Same thing with there's a lot of people
who hit still relevant.
It's relevant, but it's not but it doesn't change culture the way that Annie changed how everybody came out. It won the ring. Now everybody's trying to get a team to beat Shaq now because it won the ring. You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. He'll never do those numbers again. Because that singy thing that he got from that he got and kind of blended in what Ja Rule was hitting with. Right. It hit at that time. He got what it was worth. And by the time Candy Shop came out, he was 4 years trying to still make it, trying to go back to the well, and didn't work out. Right. Okay, I'm out. Right. Okay. Lecrae hit. Okay. When Lecrae hit when Rehab came out. Right. Rehab came out. He got nominated for that Grammy that he should have won. Right. He lost that Grammy to Skillet. They made a makeup call by giving him the Grammy for Gravity the very next year over Ty Tribbett. Okay. That should have never happened. Okay. He was supposed to win the year before when it was a weaker class. But anyway, but at that point, that's when Lecrae is as hot as it could. He'll never do that. He'll never hit that number again. Number one when he was number one and went on the award shows and things like that. He was coming off of probably 4 successful singles in between a Grammy nominated record and then a major, almost a 1-year promo package for this next album that came out in a way that no one had ever seen be promoted with these videos he's coming out with, these feature videos and these silhouette commercial videos and things like that. He came out and he hit. Now, talent-wise, Lecrae has never been the best in any category in Christian hip-hop, but he's always been the most consistent, and Ben Washer has always been the best business manager in Christian hip hop. So Lecrae always had the chance to make better decisions. That's something everybody got to keep in mind. It's not just operating under the when you're trying to make these types of moves. Right. Yeah. Because you need a team. Yeah. And you need things that fall your way. Right. Right. Yeah.
And I think there's a difference too between ministry and business. You know what I'm saying? I think that if it's a ministry, and like I think how your friend was saying, as long as people are getting saved, you know what I'm saying, mission accomplished.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the ministry side of it. But for the business side of it, that's not the case. It's about the dollar bill. You know what I'm saying? How can I eat? How can I survive?
Right.
Can I do this full time?
Right.
You know, provide food for my family, that kind of thing.
Right.
So there's two separate things, and I think that you can't have one without the other. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
If the ministry is your focus, and you know, it could be a focus, and you just have a talented business manager that's handling your business side of things, that's going to take you to that next level. Right. But if you don't have that element, you're going to stay at a certain place.
Stay at a level, and your ministry is going to be very, very limited.
Yeah,
right.
You know,
and it goes back to what you were saying too, as far as the acceptance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the acceptance wasn't there wasn't a shoulder to stand on. There wasn't somebody saying, you know, here's some business advice for your ministry. Right. You know, it's like, let me stand at a distance and check this out, see how this falls. Right. And if it falls on the right side of the line, all right, I mess with y'all. Right. You know, but if not, I'm not.
And to your point, I think you have to. You to me, I don't know. Some people get uncomfortable with the ministry side and the business side of it. There's two clearly different pieces that must go there together, and people get way too deep about it. I'm like, here's the business side of it is your pastor, Word of God Church, Pastor Davis is a powerful anointed man of God who can flow. I've seen him do it. Flow in the moment, in the anointing. You know the Spirit of the Lord is in here. But guess what? I need to hear him with a microphone because it's however many thousands of people in this room. And I need to see him, so the lights got to be on. So that means the electricity got to be on, and you need a microphone that's good enough for to be in an amp. And well, you know, Mr. Sound Man, all the different things. It's got to come together for this voice to go be projected to these couple thousand people in this room right here. That's the business side of it. The ministry is the Spirit of the Lord that's flowing. What he's saying, the prophetic word is going forth. But the business got to be handled. And sometimes people get uncomfortable with that and try to say, oh, you know, I don't really like the marketing side of it. I want to get into that. I just want to minister. Look, man, you put the CD in the marketplace. That's marketing. You got to understand marketing, distribution, promotions. I think all of that has to be working together, and it's not a bad thing. Every concert can't be free. You know, you gotta pay. There has to be a premium. If you want somebody to do this full time, they gotta be able to take care of themselves. Whether you're a pastor or whether you're a rapper, you need to be. If you're doing this full time, there has to be cash flow coming from somewhere. Because Walmart, as I said earlier, you can't pay for Walmart with fruits and vegetables. We all have children, multiple children. I think how many kids we got between the three of us? I got 5.
I got 3.
You got 3.
I got 2.
You got 2. So we got 10 kids. The 3 of us. All right, that's a lot of food.
Oh yeah,
that's a lot of tuition. That's a lot of sneakers. That's a lot of electricity. That's a lot of gas and cars taking people to school. All of us got to be up in the morning taking people to school. Yes. My point is that's the business side of it. At the end of the day, there has to be some type of reciprocation for this art, this gift, this talent, this ministry. And I think some people get uncomfortable with that.
But that to me is a on one end is miseducation. Has to be, you know, on one end, you know, there's a maturity factor that everybody goes through in life, but on one end, that's miseducation. Because at the end of the day, if you got that mindset from your church some kind of way, your church has a business plan. Your church has a monetization engine.
Right? Yeah. It's a growth.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a growth strategy.
And it is ministry.
Yeah.
It's
purely ministry. It's nothing foul
ministry.
About it. There's
and
no
they have a monetization plan.
Right.
So how are you supposed to do ministry without a monetization plan? Who are you modeling that after?
But the clear monetization plan for ministry is tithes and offering. It's clear. It's biblical.
It's donations in some ways. It depends. It depends. That's it gets big now.
Donation is a broader term for tithe, but for the church,
especially American church,
it means tithes and offerings.
There's some tax rotation in American church that's even part of the monetization plan too, though.
But to all of that.
But that also goes into business model, because some people understand that, because they understand that they're bigger churches. but some people
Exactly,
don't.
right.
They have smaller, you know what I'm saying? Churches.
Yeah.
But and then also
your
with
rent getting paid just by whoever come in with whatever in their purse. You better find a way to multiply that. What's wrong with you?
That's it.
Right.
But I think it also has to do, like I said, with this culture shift that's happening right now too, because you know times are changing. All the rules that were set from years past have gone out the window.
Okay.
There are no rules. You know?
Right.
I mean, you're sitting here on Freethinkers Radio Network, where back in the day you had to go through specific channels to get on ABC,
for anybody to hear you.
Fox, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature.
Right.
But now we can get out and do just as much effectiveness
on the phone.
On the phone.
Right, on the phone, right.
Online.
Right,
without the major overheads, and have the flexibility, and we don't have to talk to, a trustee board or whatever, to make moves happen, to make changes.
Right.
And so what also is happening is a lot of people are coming out of jobs and going into entrepreneurship.
Right.
And so a lot of these artists, the same thing, saying it's a form of entrepreneurship for them. But what happens is you have a whole lot of passion, but you don't have the business structure to sustain.
Right.
To make it through those tough times.
Along with that passion.
Exactly.
Right.
And if you, just like how you're perfecting your artistry gift, you have to learn how to perfect the business side of things, or it's not going to ever even up. And if you realize you can't, then you put somebody in place to make sure that happens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't think a lot of people are translating that. And then also with the entrepreneurship, because there's so much entrepreneurship, there's 10 less enterprises. Because of all these indie artists, there's 10 less labels.
Yeah. Or is it 10? Is 100 more indie artists because there's 10 less labels?
Exactly.
But see, you bring up a great point, and that is I think in Christendom, I think we have a problem sometimes understanding and just accepting the fact that there is a clear business side of it. And it doesn't mean that I'm thinking in a carnal way just because I see the business side of it. And so in the hip hop industry, if you're a manager and you just want to manage, you don't want to be a rapper, that's fine. There's a space for you. If you're an artist and all you want to do is rhyme, I don't even want to think about that. I don't want to handle money. I don't want to think about that's fine. You got to do to handle that. In the Christian world, we still in some ways haven't accepted that side.
It's unestablished. It's not established. So you have, on the other side of things, you have people who run in that vein of manager for years. And so they have established manager role.
Right.
Now you have something brand new. I'm not really sure how to manage this. So now you have to give the same amount of years you gave to the secular for them to, to get it together, to get it together over here.
Right. And here's and I know we've gone a lot of
people
places.
People don't take it up either. I tell you that. That's one thing I want to say. More people need to take up those business offices.
Yeah.
Like when people everybody going to full sale to be a doggone artist and an engineer. Bro, there's promotions to be had. There's managing to be had.
Yeah.
Like who's you see what I'm saying? And what happened? If you really, I would say this: if you feel like you're so anointed, go be a manager.
Yeah.
If you're that anointed, they don't need you on stage.
You bring up a
great
point. If
you're that anointed, you go influence influencers. If you're that anointed,
you said something so key there.
You see what I'm saying?
You gotta see past yourself to do that, though.
Just saying.
You're talking about a couple things. You're talking about understanding timing. Okay. All right. Like literally, you're talking to somebody right now who literally said in the past year, somebody asked me, they asked me, they said, do you think you can manage a comedian? I said, I said it without even thinking about it, because normally I would say, oh, no, absolutely not. I said, shoot, yeah. I said, man, I've been doing this 25 years. I said, I've seen a lot of people come and go. I've been on the road with the hottest dude in the game, and then I've been later on, within 5-6 years, that dude is in the room, and I know he's making $600 a night. I've seen it. So I can tell you some things. I can tell you not to do. It's some basic stuff. I don't know everything, but it's 10 things I can tell you not to do. If you don't do them 10 things, you're gonna be more successful. And it's 10 other things I can tell you to do. You're gonna be successful.
Yeah.
I'm finally comfortable in myself to say I can manage somebody else.
Gotcha.
I wasn't 5-10 years ago.
Exactly.
Because to me, I thought that was something out of the less. It made me less than to manage somebody else, or I didn't get where I need to be, so now I have to manage somebody else. As opposed to just recognizing, dude, I'm 46. I know some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this since I was 23, 2 years old. So I understand some things. My point in saying that is that some people just don't recognize the time, and they're not generous enough to give to somebody else.
Yeah.
And then I think a big thing, I'm not saying this, nobody out gonna get mad at me for saying this, but there's a true side to this, is that a lot of people are lazy. A lot of Christians are lazy. Just keeping it real. Don't get mad at me for saying that. Like I know cats, comedians. They be like, yo, I don't move, I don't get paid. Stay home, player, because nobody knows you. And you ain't that
Right.
It's a combination.
You're right. Right. Stay home.
Give
stay right
some,
to the house. Right. Get you a job.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be sitting there for a long time. But to get to the next level, you got to understand how to get out here on this road, how to put yourself out there, how to go some places for free, how to take a family reunion. That maybe pastor see you at the church and he booked you because he saw you at the family reunion, and then you do pastor church and he didn't pay you but $100, and you did this church, somebody else booked you. One thing leads to another. Everything don't always happen like that. Some things do. Yeah. Some stuff God just go boom, but some stuff you got to build it. It's what is it? 11 o'clock at night. It's 11:09. You might be hearing whatever time you hear this. 11:09 right now.
Still working.
Still
up. I know personally, I got 3-4 more hours to do when I get back to the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and these brothers right here, I seen them. I left this studio, left them in here, and no, they got to be up in the morning to pick their kids up. That's the grind side of it. That's the entrepreneurial side of it. That's the ministry side of it, and that's the business side. Because the ministry side, you do that unto the Lord. So my thing is we get there, and then there's also, it got to be a level of selflessness. Yeah. Whether that's Christian comedy, gospel comedy, clean comedy, however you want to categorize it, or Christian rap, gospel rap, or clean rap, whatever it is. People got to work together. Get out here in a van, and knowing we might not get no money tonight.
Yeah.
But go here because such and such invited you here, and we all eating a bag of Doritos, a loaf of bread, and a pack of bologna, and we're gonna be doing that for 2 weeks. We got gas, and we do it
and monetize that free thing. I mean, if you go out there and they give you the mic, you got the mic.
You got the mic.
I'm gonna tell you to go visit my Facebook, my website, wherever I'm selling something or I need you to buy into. That's why I'm gonna use that. And you know, even though I'm not being paid, but you know, I'm planting those seeds for a harvest.
So what I'm hearing is,
if you're doing ministry, yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, you think about this. Think about being on stage. Just think about it. I want people to think about it before they go out there and be gospel singers and all this, gospel performers and stuff like that. I want you to think about something. What you go up on that stage for 15 minutes and you go sing unto the Lord and all this right here, and the homeless man ask you for a meal, a $10 meal after the show. You ain't got it. You ain't got it because you ain't got it. You ain't got it because you won't give it. You ain't got it. You ain't got it because you know what I'm saying. You don't have a monetization for what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You have no monetization for what you're doing. When you put gas in your car, you made it to the event. You already ate. You're getting ready to go back to your car. Homeless man, you know what I'm saying. He needs the gospel, and he also needs something to eat. You can't buy him a $5 plate. You can't buy him a $10 meal. But you've been on stage 15 minutes. I just can't do that.
You know what? Because this is the confusing paradox of you bring up a phenomenal point. Here's the confusing paradox of a gospel or Christian artist. How to reconcile the line of business and ministry. This is probably a whole other podcast. Mm-hmm. How to reconcile that line between ministry and business. Because at the end of the day, you go someplace and you go there with a heart for God. You go there with a heart for ministry. But you got to get the gas to get there, and you got to have the gas to get back. Whether that's plane gas or car gas, some type of fuel system, because we can't snap and beam ourselves up there. There has to be a mechanism, a financial mechanism to get there. And some people are not comfortable with saying that. Some people are not comfortable with asking for that, and some people are not comfortable giving that. And then there's two sides of it. Yeah. Where some people are like, oh, all these artists, all they about is money, money, money. I'm like, man, having been a person who has been a struggling artist, then you feel like you balling, and then you lose $2 million, and you in a terrible situation. Mm. It's a money side to this thing, man. Yeah, real talk. So whether that you a church or artist, there's a financial side of it. Mm-hmm. So at some point, you got to understand how to conduct the business without being haughty, without being grabby, without being doing things for the money, but understanding that you got to do it You gotta make some money.
Be smart.
Yeah, create multiple streams of income. You know, don't just depend on the booking to put gas in your car.
Right.
What else are you doing to get to that place?
Right.
You know, and I mean, and it says in the Bible, write the vision, make it plain.
Make it plain. Yeah, right. And the Eden model is multiple streams.
Yeah.
Multiple streams of income flowing into one place and out of one place.
Exactly.
Right.
There's not, I learned that from Vicky Winans. Like, see, that's the thing where, and again, see that there you go. That education, one that needs to be offered and given, and then two that needs to be humbly received. I never forget going on the road with Vicky Winans. I didn't go on the road with her. I was blessed to be booked with Vicky Winans, and I watched Vicky Winans work. I watched Vicky go. Miss Vicky, she went up and she blessed the house. She sung a song. She sung a few songs. She told some stories. She blessed the house, and then she came down. And then she lovingly talked to the people, took all the pictures, and then sat to the table and sold product. And I probably sold about 4 CDs, and I watched Miss Vicky sell. I don't know how much she sold. I probably like to watch her for 40 minutes, right? Just doing up and selling stuff. And she said, and she still to this day she called me Kunta. Tell me, Kunta. Tell you now, Kunta. Tell me, you gotta have you multiple streams now. She said you gotta have multiple levels. She said you gotta have you a $40 package. You gotta have you a $20 package. You gotta have you a $10 package. You gotta have you something that costs $5. You gotta have you something that costs $1. That way everybody can leave with something.
Yep.
Right.
And I'm like, man, you right? Everything I got costs $10, $15. So if you got 8, that means you want it.
Yeah, I can't get.
You come to the table, you like, I ain't got $8.
I wanted to spend $8 with you, but you ain't got nothing.
You ain't got nothing
in my budget. Yeah,
in my budget, because all I got is 8. And then after that I was like, shoot, she helped me out. Yeah. So this is a whole CD, but this ain't but 3 songs right here, or 3 jokes right here.
There you go. Get you a single.
Right. Or you want to buy your poster? You can't afford a joke single, but you can buy your poster.
That's it.
I was willing to learn. I came in like, oh shoot, I've been doing this how many years, and I done did this stage. I'm like, no, this Miss Vicky Winans, and she talking to me. Yeah. I'm gonna shut up and listen.
And the dollars count.
Right. Right. And so I think that, but I think as a whole, I don't think, as we go back to the topic of Christian gospel rap, I don't think the industry, radio and labels, enough of them, said, hey, young man, come on and sit down. I don't get the hair, I don't get the clothes, I don't get the beats, but I bet you I can use it. Because here's the whole thing. This is what gets me. While we all sitting there talking about what industry this and who don't accept this other music is taking a whole generation of kids to the brink of hell. I ain't saying they're going to hell, but this stuff they listen to
the power to do,
is the devil.
And it had a plan behind it, and it's doing what the plan's meant to do. I mean, it is what it is. This is a propaganda device. So you're supposed to spread them. You're supposed to send a message with it. Now, if you don't send a message with
you're supposed to send a message.
You're supposed to send a message with it. And honestly, our secular counterparts always do.
Yeah, and at the end of the day,
our secular counterparts, they always send a message. They
Right.
always set up their next message.
Right.
yeah. At the end of the day, war has been declared,
Yeah.
but have both sides showed up to the battleground.
I mean, they just winning out here.
No. It's to your point on that, it's classic David and Goliath. You got a whole bunch of people standing there while one person, the industry, if you allow me to say, is making a whole bunch of noise and basically telling you that you're not relevant.
Yeah. Cause they pick and choose.
Right.
But the reason you're not relevant because you don't have a plan, and they do. You don't have a plan. You don't have a plan. I'm saying somebody just show me somebody with a plan.
And resources too.
Do have a plan.
Yeah, and resources too. Because like you, I think some people have plans, but I don't think they have the resources, and I don't think there's enough collective resources like the industry has to be as effective.
Hold on, what doesn't have? You talking about the church? The church don't have as many resources as well?
Collective resources. Okay. We have spotty resources. There's little pockets here, little pockets there, but collectively.
But here's the thing, Darren. This is my pushback on that.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ain't got no $100 million investment.
Right.
But you got a building. You got several people that come that's show up in here and use your studio. What they can't see is this studio. This is a studio space. Okay, so you're not saying I'm waiting on somebody to come and give me all the money that I need to make this happen. You out here getting it. Y'all getting it.
Right.
It's so, and I'm sure it's weeks where it's sometimes it's banging financially, and sometimes it's like I don't know how we gonna do it. But guess what? I look at this right and see this. And see, I would love to sit down.
But
and
there's
talk.
a plan though.
But you got to understand the work behind it. My man Byron Allen. People can say what they want to say about Byron Allen. Byron Allen just brought the doggone Weather Network, Weather Channel. Byron Allen. Okay, back in the day, old show. Both y'all too young to remember this right here. Back in the day, an old show called Real People. Byron Allen used to be one of the co-hosts on a show called Real People, and then he had a couple of other shows that he was on. Then Byron Allen got tired of auditioning for stuff. And Byron Allen, he took one thing. He said that he could go to press junkets and get interviews with celebrities for free. They fly you in. They film it for you and give you a tape and walk out the door. So Byron Allen, he just started going to press junkets and recording all the stars. Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Samuel Jackson, John Travolta. That's all he did. And it was, and then he would come back and he would record the voiceover himself. Entertainers with Byron Allen. Today, John Travolta, George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Oprah. He chopped them bad boys up into a half-hour show and paid, either edited himself or paid for production. Then he got on the phone and called TV stations. He said all day he would sit at his dining room table in his small apartment calling TV stations. Can y'all get the show on the air? Can y'all get the show on the air? Now, Byron Allen, a couple years ago, he built a $50 million studio. He tried to buy, what's the movie that he tried to buy? A big movie that a couple years ago that went big. Byron Allen was one of the last few people that tried to buy that movie. He brought some other movie last year, and that joke brought the Weather Channel. He said him and his mama him and his mama worked together. He said he had no investors. And I don't know that Byron Allen professes to be a Christian. I don't know. My point is, you can take that same model and if you believe it, faith is seed, time, and harvest. Seed, time, harvest. Seed, plant. What's your seed? Everybody got a seed of something. Maybe it's a seed of obedience. Maybe it's a seed of research. I never forget when I came into Christian comedy. I came from secular to Christian. And people say, oh no, we saw him cursing on TV the other night. You did. Yes, you did. I shot that last year, but you did see that. I'm not that same person no more. But I studied all the Christian comedians. So when we would go to the Christian conference, people would be sitting there, they'd be like, oh man, I know you. I said, I know you too. I said, you went to such and such high school. I said, you graduated from blank college. They'd be like, how you know that? I said, dude, I've been all on your website. I read your bio backwards and front. They're like, really? I said, yeah, dude, I know you. They're like, really? I said, dude, I give them their wife's name. How many kids you got? They're like, whoa. I said, dude, I've been studying y'all. Because I'm coming from another genre. Yeah. I need to know what's going on. I would sit in a chair at night with old school dial-up internet. I'm talking
Fall asleep, wake up.
Fall asleep, sit there till your booty go down. When your booty and your leg, you like, oh, dog, my butt asleep. How long am I sit here? That would have taken. But my point, but the truth of the matter is, a lot of times people don't want to work, and sometimes people don't want to work together. Right. And that's what it takes to get to the next level. So I think it's a revival. If we're gonna find a place to land this plane, I think it's time for a revival. And here's the whole thing. Again, we're not saying that Christian rap is dead. It was a legitimate question that David saw online that came up in our conversation prior to this actual recording. But it bows a question. What do we have to do? Because to me, some of the Christian rappers I know, these jokers outrhyme 10 of these other rappers out here. Nothing against.
But can they make good songs?
Huh?
Can they make good songs?
They can.
Can they identify their market and make a song for their market?
You come there from a business side of it, and
that's all I'm saying.
And I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree. But okay, so here's the question then: is that an assignment for you two brothers?
I have no idea. We'll see.
No.
We'll see who walks through the door.
Okay. Are you guys the organized noise of today? Are you guys the Mark Zuckerberg? Are you guys the Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak? Are you guys the Bill Gates and the other dude that started Microsoft? Are you guys the Sam Walton?
See how you do it?
Right. Because
I don't know.
If you understand it, and you clearly have the information and education, and you clearly are legitimate music fans, as am I, then is that your assignment to take that thing to the next level? Because like you say, a lot of times the cat who get in front of the mic, sometimes the dude who behind, and at some point those lines, you can't sit them in one seat at a time. Yeah. That's the truth.
Yeah,
that is the truth. You can do both. I'm not saying I do it myself.
Yeah,
but you can only sit in one seat at a time.
It's real.
So is Freethinkers also a label?
We'll have to see. We'll have to see what goes into that. We'll see what the Lord does. How about that? I'm just saying, you know, because at the same time,
you just spiritualize that thing and be real.
I mean, I mean, to be real, two points really like you know, just making sure that we remember that we're still not trying to underemploy people.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The whole thing about, because on one side, because they have one issue of a supply and demand issue where a lot of people who should be buying rap, unfortunately, are rapping. I'm just going to, and that means what it means.
That's
Some
real.
people who should be buying rap,
Somebody need to tweet that.
are rapping.
Is that you?
Is that you? And
Is there one? Is there one?
And so,
Some people should be buying rap for rapping.
and see, because what happens is now, so there's less customers for the people who we need to do well, because they have a real chance. And then also, and then now, unfortunately, your record made it to our potential customer in our market. Your record made it to them first. We're all done now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a big issue.
To your point, I never forget going somewhere. This is years ago. I never forget going somewhere, and I was booked for an event. It was how we doing gospel events. Be a whole bunch of people on the show, and it was like a lot of singers. I was the only comedian. It was a poet. It was a rap duo. And it was like before the event, it was like hit me with all this word. And we was connecting from a ministry standpoint. And when them two dudes got that mic, I was like, and the kids in the room, it was like, kids, we got something for y'all. We got something for y'all. Da-da-da-da. And at the time, I probably was like 32. These dudes probably like maybe 34, 5, a little bit. That's a little bit old. Not old. Not old. It was like, yeah.
Larry Holmes?
Yeah. Say Jesus. Jesus.
Oh.
And it was I was like, oh Jesus. It's just terrible. And the flow was
awful,
horrible.
Right?
Now, I'm saying it. I know these kids like, really? I'm about to go home and listen to the most foulest rap there is out there.
This is
what I got? I'm not doing it. Too bad. Too bad.
For real, now.
And I don't blame them.
Oh,
if
man.
that's what Christian rap is.
right.
But you're right. That record reached them first.
And that's a rap for the whole genre.
Yeah, right. That kid, it's gonna take 10 Lecrae CDs, 7 Canton Jones CDs,
Just like that.
a Bizzle, a Flame, just to get them back to point A. Because these cats did a job on them.
That's it. And a lot of people are doing that. People are doing that when it comes to, man, I mean, that's beyond Christian hip hop.
Yeah,
that's happening in some of this Christian R&P.
Yeah. You say R&P?
Yeah, that's that R&P, that rhythm and praise stuff. So some of that stuff is garbage. And the production needs to be better. Some of the songwriting needs to be better. Some of these people are unmanaged, obviously.
Wow.
Because there's market research and things that would have told you that song was a terrible idea.
Yeah.
But you used the inside connection at the radio station, and now that joint is playing, and now somebody drove into Columbia, South Carolina, and they will never deal with that genre because your song was a bad idea, and the person's first experience with that genre was your bad idea.
David Pendergrass, I think you need to do a label.
The second thing is this. Is the
I'm
fact
sorry,
that,
David.
Well, I also have to remember this. It's the last.
You need a label.
I'm gonna gloss on over that one real quick. I'm gonna let that because you know people who need that. But the other part about that is make sure that you understand because you can't say that people aren't supporting you if you only have one jar for them to pour oil in. All right, I'm gonna use the Bible. Elisha, Elisha met the widow.
Yeah.
Widow said, "Yo, me and my son gonna eat these grits,
Yeah.
whatever it is."
Yeah.
And we out. He said, "Nah, make something for me, then go get some jars."
Yeah.
Because he had all the support she needed.
Yeah.
He had all the support she needed, but the only support I have for you is to put oil in jars.
Right.
Now you can ask me for money, I ain't got it. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
you
right.
can ask me for a ride, I ain't got it.
Right.
But this oil, this is my way of supporting you. Now, how much of this support can I give you? How much of the support can you handle? Now, if all you have is a 99-cent single.
Here's the whole point. You done tapped into something else right there. Because what that is right there is obedience, okay,
Right.
submission,
Right.
and then seed.
Right.
So that the widow said, you know what, man of God, prophet, we around here hungry. You come around here, you've been eating.
Right.
But since you said it, I'm gonna be obedient. I'm gonna feed you.
Make sure you
then I'm gonna take these empty jars. I'm taking them around to the neighborhood, and I'm gonna gather up this little bit of oil. And we're gonna come back in, and we're gonna let you pour it and fill up all these jars. I'm gonna be obedient to what you said.
That's the same oil she made his stuff with, though.
Exactly. My point is a lot of times people aren't willing to be obedient to the directives. And what I always say this right here, this is why I always tell people, and people don't like to go back to this right here. But a lot of times people ask me, how do you do A, B, C, and D? You know how to do a lot of things. The way I learned how to do the majority of that stuff is not my time in the industry. The majority of that stuff is working at church. Right Direction Church, International, Columbia, South Carolina. At 1230 location and at 3506 location. So when I was editing videos for church, where I just was being obedient because it was like, hey, somebody need to know how to do it. I'm a comedian. I ain't trying to be no editor. Okay, I'm a writer. Right. I get paid for comedy and writing. But the editor needs some help, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Right. Okay, and then you learn how to edit. You learn the system. So you learn Adobe Premiere and you learn Final Cut Pro. And you learn them many, many late nights. Then when you get to the working on a show at BT, and they say, well, can you do this right here? Yeah, I can do that. And they're like, oh, okay. Well, how you know how to do that? Don't worry about it. Let's just not do it. Because you trying to chart my education and you want me to give you some degrees and all that. I learned at church. Right. What I did for free as a seed, they pay me a few $1,000s per week to do. Right. My point is a lot of times people don't want to sow that seed. And we want to kick that spiritual principle to the side and overstep that and jump to playing in front of 5,000 people. You can't overstep that. You can't jump that step. When you skip steps, you fall. I always say when you skip steps, you trip and fall. My point is if you ain't got nothing, sow your seed. If you ain't rhyming at your church, how you say you're a passionate Christian artist and you ain't rhyming at your church? Maybe your church don't want to use you. Okay, right. Okay, guess what? Show yourself faithful. Hey, you know what? Before I went to TV ministry, you know what I signed up for? Got doggone parking lot. Because I just wanted to do something. And then the dude who's over TV said, hey man, I found your application in the parking lot file and I pulled it out. He said, I appreciate you, but we don't need you there. I know you. I know what you do. Come over here and do TV. I said, okay, cool. Went over there, submitted myself, and one thing led to another. So I don't have a degree in filmmaking. My son does. I don't. My degree in filmmaking came from RDCI University, Right Direction Church International. My point is, where are you sowing seed at? And that's a great analogy. That Elisha and the widow is the woman was a great analogy for that. Are you, and it's seed, and it doesn't happen all the way like that.
Right. So are you sowing seed, and are you supportable? Which is kind of what I was trying to get at.
Supportable.
Are you supportable? You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like if I have $400 and I loved your show, and you need this $400, but I'm not just gonna give it to you. What you got for me? You know what I'm saying? I'll pay $30 for your CD if that's what you're charging for it, because I'm here to support you.
Right.
Okay, so that's $30. What else? I got $400 in my pocket.
Right.
Fully down to support you in whatever way. I love what you're doing. Love you as a minister. Love you as an artist. Love you as okay, I got $400 in my pocket.
Right.
Now you guys are
with CD. All you got is I can pay you 3 times what your CD worth and give you $30. And I go home with $370. Wow. How supportable are you?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's something, you know what I'm saying? And that's a that would have a lot to do. We were really talking about what problems in Christian hip hop has some things to do with that. There's not enough workshops,
Preparation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Things there's not enough $400 buys.
Well, here's the whole thing though. When you say, "Are you supportable?" I remember a story, a testimony, I should say, from Mike Murdoch, and he said, Mike Murdoch, of course, you know, is a televangelist, is an evangelist, and travels all over the place. Mike Murdoch said that when he was, it came after a seed. I will say that he sold a seed. Okay, and I forgot what he said the seed was, but he said that a couple, he was in a service, and he said that he had preached that night, or he had either ministered in music, and then a couple came up to him and said their son had died, and the Lord told them that they were supposed to, what they were going to do for their son, supporting their son, I guess maybe in college or whatever. I'm paraphrasing the story if I'm butchering it up, but they were supposed to do that for him. So they wind up giving him all their son's suits, and then they wind up taking him someplace and buying him some more suits, and they wind up giving him like thousands of dollars just because God said so. Are we? Maybe that rapper doesn't have only a CD, but maybe they still should get the other 370. I'm gonna buy 3 CDs from you, and then I'm here, bro. Here's 370. Like, cause see, I've had somebody walk up to me and say, "Hey, man, I know your CD is 10, but it's $100 bill. I just want to be a blessing to you." Like, wow, praise God. I've had somebody say, "Man, hey, man, how much? What all you got left up here?" I got, man, you know, like, how many you got? I got 12 CDs and I got 3 DVDs and I got a poster, whatever. And he's like, "Okay, give me all that." I'm like, wow. And this person who did, they were an artist. Listen, man, I'm an artist too, man. I know how it is. They were like, and he started giving them. He brought them and gave them away to people who hadn't brought them. I'm like, wow. Do you know how encouraging that was? It was like God saying, "Keep on going.
Oh yeah,
keep on doing your thing."
Absolutely.
So I think where some people may not be supportable, but they still should be supported. You know what I'm saying? So
they're gonna have to figure out how to make that happen. My thing is, you know what I'm saying, you can't expect for me to find a way to put money in your pocket or put money in your hand.
Right.
I have to go find that. Why don't you have something set up for me? You drove all the way here without no kind of way for me to support you. I'm in Birmingham. You drove here from, St. Louis, and I got $300 I can't even give you. That could probably help you get home, right? Okay, let's make an exchange. I came here to give this to you,
right?
But I expected to leave with something. You see what I'm saying? So, or you see what I'm saying? What do you got for me? What can I sign up for? I can join your whatever club at a monthly service. There's got to be something you got for me. You've got to have more than just the ability to rhyme.
I think at that point there is a point where that artist may be able to say or has to say, or that person has to say, "Hey man, I'm just gonna be a blessing to you," because clearly you ain't got it right now. Right. I'm gonna be a blessing to you, so you can get some more CDs or some more DVDs, because you I've been in a situation where you got some CDs and them CDs you sold, they're your CD. It's on you on the CD, but you pretty much that money you got, that's got to go to SE&G. You may not necessarily have it to re-up at that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My point, but I guess trying to land this plane.
Yeah.
we can circle all right.
Yeah, we can go.
Right. I think it was good dialogue. I'm sure at some point I'll take full responsibility. I'm sure at some point we probably offended somebody. It probably need to be offended though. But at the end of the day, pray for me.
You know why?
And David Prendergrass will pray about starting a label, a modern day label, whatever that is.
Yeah.
A music division of Freethinkers Radio. Yes.
Ooh, look at the time.
I'm holding my tongue because we done talked about this.
Oh, really, Darren? Really? What? We done tapped into something?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He hear the echo.
Out of the mouths of 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hey.
Oh.
Hey.
Oh boy.
Okay. Closing thoughts.
Dan Murphy.
Closing thoughts. Let's start with let's go with Darren first. Go ahead. Closing thoughts on this topic, which really went.
Well, my closing thoughts are write the vision, come up with a plan, execute the plan. I think we do too much stuff just off of the whim of things, just winging it.
Right.
And I think that with what we do, that there's more required. Mm-hmm. And what's required is that preparation, is that writing it down on paper, coming up with a plan, executing. Right. And that's my recommendation to everybody.
Right. Write the vision, make it plain.
Absolutely.
Habakkuk 2:2. Habakkuk 2:2. It is. Brother Pendergrass.
Oh man.
Executive Pendergrass.
Absolutely. I mean, I can only really echo that. Really have a plan. Now, in the plan, make sure that you understand who you're planning for, and what are you planning to do. Mm-hmm. Make sure that's in your plan. Don't just be a person who has set out on a mission to perform a task. You know what I'm saying? Because as far as trying to perform a task, you're just looking for one miracle here, one miracle there from God. But why can't the miracle from God being how He blessed you to make prepare something that can grow and outgrow you and outlast you? Mm-hmm. Right. That's a miracle. Right. You know what I'm saying? Showing up unprepared to something and He makes it happen. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. You can get about that sometimes.
Right, that's cool and all. But a real miracle is God bless this thing so it'll outlast me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you said something right there.
And that's it. So you know what I'm saying? So that's the real miracle. And that's possible for every person, but at the same time, when we look at even look at miracles like what they're talking about when He fed the 5,000. Mm-hmm. It had to be structured. Right. It had to be structured. It had to be organized before any of y'all eating. Yeah. None of y'all gonna eat. Yeah. Until this is structured and organized. Right. So structured and organized, whatever you say you're gonna do, passion does not a ministry make. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. What you said something so key there. We talk about going from faith to faith. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we think about that laterally. So faith to faith, situation to situation. I've been guilty of this. Circumstance to circumstance.
Right.
As opposed to faith to faith means level to level.
Absolutely.
Vertical, faith to faith. So this step, to get to this level, required a level of faith. I need a measure of faith to get to the next level.
The next one. Yeah.
So maybe faith to faith is not lateral, but faith to faith is vertical. It takes faith, but that doesn't mean that you got to be on zero every step of the way.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Man.
The levels aren't referring to ceilings; they're referring to the floor.
Wow, Reverend Pendergrass. It's a good word there, brother. I'm gonna give my closing thoughts. My closing thoughts taking what these two brothers gave us and taking it home. Understand that there is a line between ministry and industry, and it's okay. You need both. It doesn't make you a bad person because there's a need for the business side of it, and you need somebody to understand that. That's okay. Even Jesus had different people out of His disciples on His team, if you allow me to say, that had different jobs, that had different tasks, different areas and items that they were responsible for. He was wise enough to know that. That's it. It's the same thing for us. There's nothing wrong with respecting the business side of it. Learn the industry. If you right here, you're a comedian and you send out tapes on VHS, what are you doing? What are you doing? I sent you a tape. Tape? What am I supposed to do with that?
Did you get my tape?
I gotta find the VCR and see you. Truth be told, if you still sending out DVDs.
I'm gonna get them.
Get them.
Get them.
You still, dude. It's Dropbox. Hey man, I just sent you a link for you to watch immediately on your phone right now. I'm telling you because you talk to a person who 15, 20 years ago was at my house, literally recording tapes, sitting there with a double deck VHS because that's what you had to send it to the comedy clubs. Yeah. Right. Tapes, and the tape was 15 minutes. Your promo said, "Guess what? That's real time. I need 10 tapes. That's 150 minutes. I gotta sit here." That was the time. That was the technology of the time. So what I'm saying is, as Christian believers, learn the industry. Get ahead of what's going on. We shouldn't be responding to technology. We should be leading technology. We should be the forerunners in technology. And let me tell you something. Now, whether you call yourself a Christian rapper or clean rapper, a gospel rapper, be excellent. Whether you call yourself a Christian comedian or Christian filmmaker, a gospel filmmaker, a gospel comedian, be excellent. Be funny. Don't go up there and I've seen guys do this right here. I'm a Christian comedian. You know what, man? I know y'all brought me here to make y'all laugh, but the Lord told me, He gave me a word for y'all. No, dude! No. Don't you cop out on these people. Pastor brought you in to tell some jokes. He got the word.
Right.
Drop them jokes and don't make excuses.
Shouts out. Rappers
Cop
too.
out.
Come rap.
Right, well, yeah.
Everybody want y'all.
You rapping. Okay, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me.
5-minute prelude.
Don't get mad at me. You got 20 minutes.
I'm about to come back.
You got 20 minutes. And you did 2 songs.
Ooh.
Trouble.
Ooh. Oh.
And you preached the rest of the song.
And it faded out at 4 minutes. And you preached from that 5-minute mark all the way to the 15-minute mark.
And then you gonna close out with one more song. No.
Got 3 minutes left in your set.
No.
Run that song, DJ.
Dude, I came here to hear some rap, some rhyme.
Nah, skip the track 5. Skip the track 5. We're just gonna do track 5 and get out of here.
No. I want to hear the other songs. I brought the CD. I want to see you do them live.
Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry.
Send all your emails to David Pendergrass.
Oh.
Radio.
Oh. Y'all want them problems.
I'm saying. Okay. I just thank God that we had this podcast tonight.
Yes.
We had something completely else planned.
Absolutely.
And then God did something else. And I am very appreciative that He did it.
Oh,
Thank you, gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
That's David Pendergrass. That's Darren Murphy. They are the proprietors, organizers. They put all this stuff together here at Freethinkers Radio Network.
And speaking of which, I would be wrong if I didn't take this opportunity. If you feel like you need to sow a seed,
Yes.
you can send your request to freethinkersradio@gmail.com, and we'll make sure that we send that that link to you.
What? Cash App it, baby.
Yeah, I don't want you to think you have $400 and you know.
Right.
You don't know what to do with it.
Right.
Yeah.
We
need it. We got
very
you.
supportable.
Absolutely. We are very supportive.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, I feel like we didn't touch it. We should at least touched it.
Uh-huh.
His religious views didn't really stop Lecrae from making any money. So everyone who talks about religion, I can't be a Christian rapper, whatever. Go back through your home. I'm not gonna go in depth, but if you go back through the homework, go back through the history, look at the numbers.
Yeah.
His religion had nothing to do with his success in record sales or his decline in record sales, and it won't do it with yours either.
How you gonna start another topic?
I'm just saying because being a Christian rapper. Here's the thing: being a Christian, he made his money.
I believe
he made the money that was for him.
I believe Lecrae responded and continues to respond to the assignment and the call.
Oh yeah,
at his time, and continues to. I don't think this. I don't judge a person's success necessarily by album sales because it's changed now. Be truthful. The label sent me a statement saying how much I still owe them. Sound Exchange sent me royalties,
right?
Because they digital. So I don't move. So more people reach. I reach more people on Pandora and Sirius XM than I do on CD. It's just the truth. So now we done changed our whole business. I'm like, hey, send these singles out. Email, send these singles out. Metadata. That's how you making money now, as opposed to CDs. And guess what? That money, you make that money while you're sleeping.
That's it.
That's the beauty of that. So I just think I think that. But to your point,
it didn't hurt him. It didn't hurt him to be a Christian rapper at all.
It didn't. But to your point, I think the business side of it was that Lecrae. And I don't know. I've heard different people's names mentioned at the label and people at Reach Records at the time. To me, those guys did slow down and do the business.
Okay.
They did. They handled the business side of it. They understood the marketing side, and that's okay. It don't mean you're anointed, or less anointed because you recognize that you need a hot photo. That don't mean you lesser known. That mean you can't you can't put out no CDs like this right here. That picture right with the clouds behind you. You about to sell 4 CDs.
To buy some turn up from you. No.
These cats, these young people,
you gotta look like I'm gonna do that dance.
You gotta be strategic. Also, I don't believe that a grown man Christian artist, you 52 years old and you weigh 300 pounds, you write some skinny jeans on. That's the devil also.
Yes.
And don't nobody need all that makeup.
Be delivered.
Goodness gracious, there's gotta be a limit to the makeup. On these CD covers. My goodness, now come on now. We trying not to say that certain people are suspect, but then they go put all these.
You need a label. You need some makeup.
I'm just saying, huh?
You need some makeup. When you see him somewhere, when you see a picture of David Pendergrass somewhere and he got some makeup,
it's gonna be the light powder. It's gonna be the light powder though. The light powder.
I've heard that before. I've heard people say that before.
It's gonna be the light.
Listen, this conversation could go on and on. We're gonna have.
We done.
Anybody angry? Please put your comments. I'm gonna have you on the show.
Exactly.
Akintunde Show, aka Grown Man Podcast. I don't even think we need to open or close. Hey, I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.